everyone, it's Rachel, and today I am going to be talking about Hamilton that just dropped on Disney+. I watched it on July 3rd, the day that it aired. It was kind of a virtual date with my boyfriend, and we have been planning to see it since we heard the release. And I know that it's a little different than if you go and see it live on stage. I've watched other productions filmed so that other people can see, and I think it's a great idea. I think more shows should be accessible like that, because Broadway can be expensive and there are people who would love to go see it and just don't have the resources to do it. So I'm all on board with that. Plus, when you film it, the cameras, they zoom in on things and you don't always get the full picture when you're watching a show, so sometimes you miss certain details. That's just a general overview on live theater versus filmed theater, but I think it's a great idea for it to be accessible. I was a little surprised they dropped it on Disney Plus because it's a little more mature than what they normally do. They censored some parts of it and just some words and stuff, because I know the cast album. I actually had the opportunity to go see it in person a few years ago, and I declined, and that's a different story for another time. So I'm just gonna give my few quick thoughts on watching the show. So first off, everyone was incredibly talented, I will say that, and I feel like everyone, deserved their part. Well, it's a great show, and it's an interesting story to be told. I think in the grand scheme of theater, in the theater world, it was perhaps a little bit overhyped. And yeah, because for people in theater and even people outside of theater, I'm not gonna say almost everyone, most people have heard of it in some capacity or another, because it was different than most shows, and it took on a different style, and it was a little bit different, and there was a relatively diverse cast, and the style was different. It was an odd kind of story to tell. I appreciate all that. I appreciate everything that show has done for theater and making waves and moving in directions, and that's all fine. I do think it was perhaps a little bit overhyped, and I do think that certain shows like Bright Star were kind of robbed of awards because they happened to come out the same year as Hamilton, and Hamilton just kind of blew up into this hype fest, and everybody knew about it, and it ended up getting a ton of awards, and then shows like Bright Star were overlooked. If you are interested in theater, and even if you're not, if you're just in interesting stories being told, I encourage you to look up Bright Star. It's a very interesting story, and supposedly it's based on true events. I didn't look into it too heavily. I props designed when my college did it, and I have the cast album, I listen to it all the time. It's a great story. It's so different, and yeah, it takes a lot of twists and turns, and it's fantastic. And Steve Martin helped, he co-wrote it or something like that. So anyway, I encourage you to check it out. Back to Hamilton. I personally liked the design and technical elements better than the actual performance itself. It's a very long show. It's almost 3 hours, and if you throw in a full intermission in there, it's like a 3-hour show. Which is, fine. Some shows need to be longer. I do think there are a couple parts that could be taken out, some songs maybe that could be taken out or shortened to perhaps make it a shorter show, but it doesn't really need that. It's fine how it is, as long as you enjoy that type of thing. So moving on, the technical elements are amazing. I applaud the stage manager for that show because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of technical elements. There's probably like actor cues and other things being thrown in. Stage managers deserve praise on any show that they ever do, and that's just what I think about it. And the design of it was very well done. There were a lot of like costume pieces and coordinations that like kind of foreshadowed what was gonna happen, and I thought it was great. And like I said, all of the design and the technical elements and the production aspect of it, I enjoyed more than the actual performance itself. And there are a lot of like big people that were involved in this, and I'm not saying anybody did a bad job. The performance was great. I just personally enjoyed the technical aspect of it better. And that's a personal preference. I know people that disagree with me on that, and that's fine. But just like the rotating stage and like the direction of it, where like people would stand on it and they'd like have to revolve, you would have to hit your mark or you would run into people, and that would have been interesting to see. But that's not the point of this. So I really enjoyed all of that, and also props to anyone that had to dance or move or anything in stage lights and those heavy costumes, because I know those were hot. One thing I noticed about this, and this was a filmed production, and it was filmed with some of the people that weren't even really in that role anymore, and they've been busy, they've been on Broadway. I could tell that most people were very vocally tired. And I noticed this with everybody. The one that I noticed it the most was Eliza. And I mean, part of it's also just the style that you have to sing in. It's a big voice, it's very vocally demanding. The whole show's very vocally challenging because it's almost entirely sung through. There are very few moments where there's stopped dialogue in between. So it's basically, if you download the cast album, you know the entire show. And so they had a right to be vocally tired. It's a lot, it's very demanding. But it was just something that I noticed. The energy was there, but there were some moments I'm like, oof, yeah, they're tired. Yeah, I don't know. I would recommend that you watch it on Disney Plus. If Broadway reopens again safely next year and the show is on, I would encourage you to see it. However, tickets are very pricey, and I know why they have to be. And I know, especially now, theaters are suffering and artists are suffering, and anyone who is involved in this is currently unemployed and not really getting anything out of it. So go support your art people, because there's a lot of things that we wouldn't have without them, and right now they're really hurting with the status of the world. Again, that's another topic. So I would recommend that you check it out if you can, both in person and or on Disney Plus. I probably personally will not be able to afford to go see the show in person unless the ticket prices drop drastically, which is why I appreciate bringing it in a more accessible format. And I think a lot of shows need to do that. Also, if you are interested in seeing more Broadway shows that are streamed kind of like this, I recommend that you check out Broadway HD. It's very similar to like Disney Plus or Netflix, but it's like all Broadway. It has like plays, but it also has like musicals. I think it's mostly musicals. I don't know. I took a class that we used that for this semester, and it was really interesting. They have a lot of things on there, and I think it's $10 a month. No, it wasn't very expensive. It was about the same price as like Disney Plus and Netflix, and it just has different things on it. So if that's something you're interested in and you haven't checked that out, go check it out. And I believe you get a trial period in there. So if you sign up, and I don't know if there is a trial period or not, I have no idea, I don't remember, and then you don't like it, you just cancel. It's real easy to cancel the subscription. So I would recommend go check that out too. That's just me. Yeah, so I guess that's all of my thoughts on the show. Let me know if you've seen this or if you're interested in seeing it down in the comments below. If you saw it live versus on Disney Plus, or if you saw it both ways, which way was better, whereas it was the same, I don't know. So yeah, let me know. Let me know what you would like me to check out next. I'm currently working on a TV show that I watched like years ago, and I'm rewatching it, and wow, do I have some thoughts. So that will be coming. Hopefully I'll have that ready next Monday. This video is late. I was busy this past weekend and just am generally behind on a lot of things. So I will try to be posting movie or TV show thoughts like this every Monday if I can. So let me know what you would like to see. I would like to call this segment Movie Monday, even though hopefully the next one will be a TV show, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it in time, so that might be one more out. That might be 2 shows out. So yeah, let me know, and I have some bigger project ideas for that as well. And yeah, I have Twitter, and that information is in the description. I also have an Etsy page and my Sister Has a Mary Kay page, and those are both in the description. If you want to check those out, awesome. If you don't, then don't worry about it. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!